Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Happy Halloween, kids. It is I, Twister Man. And there's nothing scarier on this Halloween than talking about post-sellout Maroon 5. Hey guys, what's up? LegendBTV here. We're finally going to be wrapping up Maroon 5 discography reviews as we take a look at the newest album from Maroon 5, 5. I'm actually going to do this one unscripted and kind of just see how the dialogue goes, see how it just kind of stiff-foodles about. So yes, let's just kick this off track by track. First up, we're starting off with Maps. This catchy single that you've probably heard everywhere, especially in the summer of 2014. And it kind of does have elements of rock music to it. There is a cool guitar riff here. And of course, you know what I mean, I talk positive pretty much about almost all Maroon 5 songs, but I will give out praise that this is a catchy track. It's a catchy way to open up the album at least. And I know it does bring in a lot of that synthesized dance music kind of thing. And I know a lot of Maroon 5 fans still were like, okay, this is not anything close to songs about Jane, but I will say that, you know what I mean, it's not the most pandering track ever, you know what I mean, it just sounds like some typical kind of dancey pop rock. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like basically the last chorus, probably the best of this song. I like how it really intensifies, and I also love the music video for this song, by the way. Yeah, if you don't remember, go check out the music video for Map. Next up, Animals, and whoa, this track is weird. I love how fun it is. I kind of like basically like the pounding hard drums, and basically Adam Levine is a bit on the creepy side on this track, admittedly, and it really does get you in the Halloween mood. Him going, ow! I mean, if you kind of turn your brain off and just pretty much think of it as some pop music-ish, yeah, it's pretty fun, you know? It's not really anything amazing, but it's not the best this group's ever done, but you know what I mean? It's alright, it's pretty good. Next up, we have the track It Was Always You, a standout for many critics, and yeah, definitely one for me. I quite like the 80s-inspired synths in this thing, and yeah, I'm like, you know what? This is pretty cool. The lyrics are basically about, oh, you know, underrating probably a certain girl, and then noticing, wow, it was always you that I've liked this whole time. How did I not realize that? Whoa, I'm bamboozled. So yeah, overall the lyrics are fun. And I know a lot of critics were skeptical about the bridge to this song, the where he's like, yeah. But I actually kind of like that, honestly. I like the falsetto. It's an impressive falsetto there. I mean, maybe that's just my blindness to Maroon 5 and the fact that I like this band as much as I do. Still don't know how, but I don't know. I cannot not like these guys. Yeah, this just sounds like a pretty great falsetto right there, and really the highlight of the track for me. Next up, Unkiss Me. This track is a little bit more slow. It's a little bit percussion heavy, which I don't really care for, but I do kind of like what melody there is there, and I do like the verses, and definitely the pre-chorus, especially the second pre-chorus, and his harmonizing there sounds great. Overall, yeah, the lyrics are not the most well-written, admittedly. You know what I mean? It is a bit overproduced, like a lot of this record is, but I don't know, as a Maroon 5 fan, I kind of just have to go with it. Next up, the song that you all know, Sugar. And yeah, I know the falsetto on this thing has turned a lot of people off, but I mean, it's not the only instance of Adam Levine's falsetto in this record. You'll get to that. But yeah, this is one of the biggest hits in the album, one of the biggest hits in Maroon 5's whole career, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, being their 5th biggest hit now that Girls Like You has spent 6 weeks, not 1, not 2, not 7, but 6 weeks at number 1. Holy Sugar's just a fine song. I don't think it's one of the best in this record, but you know what I mean? It's certainly catchy. It's got its place in the hit music world, and yeah, you know what I mean? It's a fine enough track. Up next is a song that I really like the chorus on. I really like the chorus on the track Leaving California. It's pretty emotional, and Adam Levine does use his falsetto here, but I feel like it really just kind of fits with the track. I have to really be in the mood to hear this one. I'm kind of like, well, on the fence about a lot of falsettos here, but yeah, overall, I do like this one. Next up, In Your Pocket. This one is one of the more different ones on the record, which I will give the record points for having a track like this, which is a little bit stylistically diverse from a lot of the rather formulaic cuts in this record. This is probably Maroon 5's most formulaic record. And yeah, you know, it kind of sounds like an insult saying that. It is a rather safe record for them, but you know what I mean? I still find ways to enjoy this album. I quite like the clapping, sort of like, you know what I mean? Really fast percussion in this thing. I really kind of like just I wish the instrumental had a bit more swell when it gets to the hook, but yeah, you know what I mean? Overall, I think it's a catchy song, and I quite like the interesting interrogative tone, even though it doesn't really feel warranted. New Love comes next, and it's just a chill track that pretty much breaks into this dance groove about in the chorus. I'm overall fine with its existence. I mean, it's not one of Maroon 5's best tracks, but you know what I mean? It's just kind of fun, and I like the bridge. I like basically, you know what I mean, Adam Levine's vocals. Adam Levine's vocals, yeah, they're definitely unique on this record. Up next is the track Coming Back For You, and this one, I was originally calling this my least favorite Maroon 5 song ever at the point of hearing this. I mean, my opinion on it has changed, and I will get to that, but I find the chorus really flat, like it really doesn't pop any. The track starts off with these like thudding drums and an actual almost guitar melody, and then it just kind of cuts into this like really sterile and boring hook and chorus that I just kind of didn't care for. But the thing is, I really like the ending of this track, how like when the final chorus comes in, you know, they actually bring the drums back more, and they inject some more energy into this track, and I kind of wish the whole track had sounded like that. You know, at least it surprises me at the end. It gets me more excited to hear this track towards the end. So Feelings is an interesting one. It starts off with this really 80s disco, like, yeah, bop groove, and then it kind of just transforms into another Adam Levine falsetto track, which, yeah, I mean, I can tolerate more than others, thankfully. But I gotta admit, it's a little much at some listens. Even as a Maroon 5 super fan, I gotta admit, it's not one of his better decisions to do. And the fact that they almost tried to push this as a single, and yeah, that didn't work out for them, I kind of get why, but still kind of a shame. It's a catchy song, though. Next up, My Heart Is Open, featuring the one, the only Gwen Stefani. And this one, I like the piano progression, and I like the lyrics of this track on the verses, and I do like the vocals on the verses, especially Adam. He's like so delicate. He's sounding like he's really, you know, emotional and heartfelt on this track. I really do enjoy that. Then we get to the chorus, which is a little weird. It's basically them going like, yeah, yeah, for the whole time. The chorus is just like, let me hear you say yeah. And I'm like, man, that just seems a little bit lacking. It seems a little bit lacking in substance, and yeah, it just didn't really commit to a solid, memorable, hard-hitting chorus. But at least the instrumental is kind of cool. I do like the piano of this track, so I mean, it's pretty good. It's just not their best. Next up, This Summer's Gonna Hurt Like a Mother. Yeah, this track is still awesome. I don't know why. It's like the most edgiest Maroon 5 gets on this record, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's edgy in all the most obnoxious ways, but I don't know, I really like the guitar on this song. I really like basically just how catchy it all is, and how much it's a lot more hard-hitting than a lot of the other tracks in here. It doesn't feel like as safe, and they definitely played a risk with that, even if it didn't work out so well. Cutting into the bonus tracks, we have Shoot Love, which is this really percussion-based and has a really tight rhythm to it. Adam really hits those high notes again in this song, and I kind of feel like this record will definitely turn off a few Maroon 5 fans. If you didn't really like the sound of Overexposed, you won't like the sound here, but this is a little bit different sounding, so I guess, you know what, as it is, whatever. Next up, we get Sex and Candy. I know that's a cover. Sound off in the comments if you know what band they covered with Sex and Candy, but yeah, they covered Sex and Candy, and I can't really compare that to the original, so I'm just going to skip over that. And yeah, finally we get Lost Stars, a track that makes me wish Maroon 5 would do songs more like this often, but of course, I know this is just an Adam Levine solo cut. Thankfully, they credit it to Adam Levine, but this is a really sweet song. Like, Adam sounds about as emotional as ever. And there actually is quite a bit of good melody here and some actual, like, legit sounding instrumentation. And I'm just like, oh my god, why don't we get more from this from Maroon 5? Like, as much as I still like their stuff, it's just kind of like it's always so corporate sounding. At this point in their career, this album is probably the most corporate yet. Aside from, of course, like Red Pill Blues, which is all just like, you know, latest trend kind of stuff. I don't know, guys. I think this track is downright beautiful and easily one of the best songs Adam Levine's been on. So yeah, that was the big wacky album that was 5 by Maroon 5. I like this record. I am honestly conflicted on what to give this album because sometimes I like it a lot more than I do. And I've just been really back and forth on this record, this one. I always have been. I'm like, you know what? Is it a great one? Is it just a good one? Is it mediocre? I don't know. I'm going to be like spooky and Halloween-like and give it the spooky question mark out of 10. Thank you all for watching my review of 5 by Maroon 5. Let me know your thoughts on this album down in the comments below. And that is it for discography reviews. If you got any other recommendations on maybe another potential discography review in the future, please let me know down below. Otherwise, get hyped because we got the worst list on the way. It's editing, baby. Woo! Please subscribe for more and turn the notification bell on if you don't want to be tricked and not treated.